Welcome back to the next episode of the Rising of the Dreamerverse. I'm here with my boy Yemi. I'm TD, and we're here to talk about our favorite webhead, the only webhead. Well, actually, not the only webhead, but we're gonna definitely talk here today about Spider-Man, my favorite superhero. Not Yemi's. We obviously recently just talked about
He's
Yemi's
he's great. He's
favorite
great.
superhero, Superman. There, but
Yeah.
no, we're diving into Spider-Man today. Specifically today, we're actually going to be talking about the video game. We're not going to be talking about all the movies or anything like that. We'll definitely get to that here soon. But here today to talk about the video game, the first two, Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then of course this week, baby, this Friday, Spider-Man 2. Featuring Kraven and Venom. Welcome back to the Rising of the Dreamerverse. Oh baby, I'm excited today, Yemi. I am excited today. I don't know if you can tell by the shirt, but we are here today to talk about my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Specifically, though, like we said in the intro, there, we're gonna talk about the video game series made by Insomniac Games, and we're gonna be talking about this specifically because the newest game, Spider-Man 2, is on its way, coming this Friday.
This Friday, baby.
Oh, we have been waiting so long for that.
Patiently waiting.
Kraven and Venom are making an appearance, which we've obviously had our little hints about. At least Venom for sure. In the first two games. So man, we're gonna dive into both Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then we're gonna talk about just kind of I guess our predictions and just kind of based off what has been shown by Insomniac and on trailers and everything like that for Spider-Man 2. We'll just kind of talk about that, and we'll go from there. And before I forget, top fives, keep them coming. Keep those top fives coming. Keep hating. Keep talking shit.
No, we appreciate it. Hey, all good feedback is good feedback. No matter if it's you guys are criticizing us, we appreciate it. At least you're listening.
Yeah,
it means a lot.
I love it either way. That's why I say it. You just keep it coming.
People are passionate, bro.
Hey, that's why I'm saying. I want to hear the passion from the fans. So please keep sending in those top fives any which way you can. If you leave a 5-star, well, you don't have to. If you're inclined to 5-star review.
Yeah,
but
5-star review.
If you'd like to leave a review on Spotify, just leave that star review with the top 5, and we'll definitely start talking about it and give you your shout outs there. But,
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 1, man. I guess just we'll talk about kind of just the game in general and just kind of our thoughts about it. What we liked. There was one specific thing that we'll get to. That obviously definitely made a big kind of wave in the news when it first kind of happened with the gaming community. But yeah, man, game kind of starts out
An older Peter. Which is nice.
Yeah,
he's been Spider-Man for about 8 years. So we step into the game as far as him being experienced, which is nice. Like usually you some games, that's not the case. And it was really cool to kind of just, they were like, nah, we're not doing no origin. We're jumping you right in. This is a seasoned Spider-Man. He knows what he's doing. And it felt that way with the gameplay.
Yep, it definitely did. And I like just kind of how right off the rip you were, already fighting, you were fighting Wilson Fisk pretty early on, which is one of my, honestly, even though it was, one of the first, it was one of the early on fights in the game. It's probably not the hardest fight that you ever encountered. Definitely wasn't, obviously, but fighting Fisk was funny. It was fun. It was to me, that was one of my favorite fights in the game, even though it wasn't end game or anything like that. It was definitely one of my favorite kind of experiences in terms of from what I first think of when it comes to the game. Another big thing that I did want to mention, you and I were kind of talking about it a little bit too on the side, was just how kind of the story, the plot, Peter's working with Doc Ock
Yeah, that was really cool to see.
Just it was really cool, like how just kind of like they intertwined that. And
and it was
story.
It was most of the plot. I mean, you kind of see the downfall as far as eventually, and I was like, are they gonna go that way? Like Doc Ock seems like, I mean, for the most part, if you know the story, he does start off as good, but I was like, maybe he's gonna be good for most of the game.
Right. That's kind of what I thought too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, they're actually going for it. So the story was, I mean, it's probably up there as far as the best comic book story video game I've seen outside of the Batman Arkham series. I was pleasantly surprised as far as how great the game was. I mean, I'm a fan of Insomniac, you know,
right.
And I was excited when they announced that they were gonna work on the game, but I was just blown away as far as just gaming technology in general, as far as with motion capturing and just like where it is as far as they get so much down as far as the mannerisms with a lot of these games now. Yeah. And that's the main thing that really stood out to me. I'm like, oh, they had clearly a lot of motion capturing for like, you know, the cutscenes and all that. And
the fighting.
Yeah. And then the relationship with Mary and Peter, like she knows he's Spider-Man. There was none of that.
None of that.
They're like, we're not doing that.
It was already past. Yeah, it was already past that point.
So that was cool.
No, I love just the fact that he worked with Doc Ock so early on, and that it, you know, like you said, was a main part of the story. And I agree with you. I thought, you know, Doc was going to be a good guy, but then obviously we see him eventually being the, you know, the leader of the OG Sinister Six, you know, for the video game series. You know, he kind of starts pulling in his little sidekicks there to kind of, you know, eventually potentially take down Peter by the end game, but we all know that doesn't work. But besides you know, Doc Ock and Fisk, any other, I guess, villains, I guess, that you can think of right off the rip that you would want to, I guess, kind of give a shout out to in the game? I mean, there were quite a few. I mean, you had the Sinister Six, and there were also a few other like kind of ones as well.
No, I think they did a good job as far as just really pumping a lot of villains. Like that's what Spider-Man, I think, is known for, like his rogue gallery outside of, like, you know, Batman. Like his rogue gallery is really, and that's like the villains he faced.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fucking great. Like there's a lot of great villains, and someone who I was introduced to that I've never really paid much attention to and I actually really enjoyed was Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative. I thought
was really cool.
I mean, I thought he was definitely one of like the best villains, and just kind of how he was also technically like intertwined with, you know, May too, being, you know, working with Feast and everything.
Yeah, he was a good. Yeah, that was really dope. I mean, would you say Mr. Negative was like one of your favorite villains in the
so I would say so it's like tough because like Fisk is like one of my favorite villains in terms of Marvel, just in general. So it was like really cool. It was like kind of like bittersweet to like face him early on in the game and then not see him again. It kind of sucked, you know. You never really faced him again, so it was like, you know, that was kind of, you know, unfortunate. But I would say Mr. Negative was definitely kind of like a surprise. Kind of like I didn't know too much about Mr. Negative before the game, and then when I start, you know, obviously playing it, you know, you get to learn a little bit, you know, about him and stuff. The powers are pretty fucking sweet.
They are cool.
And just you know, I guess just the potential for him, I guess, as well in the future, especially with Spider-Man 2. So I would say definitely he's definitely one of my favorites. I would say one of the other cool, I guess, villains to see in the game was definitely Electro. You know, besides Doc Ock, but, you know, Doc Ock was dope, but then you know, Electro was pretty sweet to have in the game as well, I think.
Yeah, Electro's like a full-on like super powered villain, you know, like he's extremely powerful. You know, Ock has the you know, the mechanical tentacles and all that. Rhino uses the suits. Scorpion uses the suit. Vulture kind of they all use a lot of suits. I mean, Mr. Negative has his powers too, but Electro is like a full on, like he could carry a movie, he can carry a game. Like he's fucking extremely strong.
I agree.
So that was, I mean, it was cool to kind of face off against him, and you know, the elements as far as what they brought with him, and it was dope. I mean, the story, like we we referenced a little bit, like the story was really good as far as facing these villains, how they brought the Sinister Six together, how Peter kind of had to kind of go through all that, and yeah, I just love that aspect as far as even his relationship with his aunt, like, and it shows the balance, him trying to balance like with work and being eventually a mentor towards Miles.
Oh, a mentor, yeah. So I thought you were about to say just kind of like the toll that it was like kind of taken on Peter, just having to like, I guess
balance both.
Like you could I guess like what I was gonna say with the game, it did a really good job of like balance, or not balancing, but just showing you how hard it was for Peter to balance both lives. Like
Absolutely.
you obviously you were having to play as him, but you saw just how much he was having to like keep a secret and like everything like that. So it was it was definitely I guess one of my favorite parts of the game. But yeah, back to what you're saying.
Doc Ock like even points it out. He was saying, he's like, hey, like Peter, because Peter's he's balancing being a superhero and having a job, like as a scientist, so he was just always late. One of those things where you're just like, Peter, like, yo, like you're always late, like what's going on, like you gotta figure this out. And even with his Aunt May, who we find out like she kind of knew for a while that he actually was Spider-Man. That shit was fucking sad, to be real. Like seeing that happen, like that was the first time I'm really seeing that. Aunt May, spoiler alert if you play the game, but Aunt May dies in the end. And it's a really heartfelt, really sad scene. And she's like, Spider-Man's talking to her, and she's like, take off your mask, like I want to see my nephew. And he's like crying, saying, you knew? Like, she's like, I've known for a while. Like,
so speaking about taking off the mask, we can kind of talk about this on a little hit on this a little bit, because you and I both have talked about this. You and I both played the OG PS4 Spider-Man game that came out. So if you have played the games, and if you have played the OG version of this Spider-Man 4, PS4, because originally it wasn't on PS5, but they did make a remaster to to allow you to kind of get that experience on the PS5 as well. The face was different. The face changes. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they they had the OG face that was in the Spider-Man 4 games, and then I'm pretty sure, wasn't it when one of the movies for Tom Holland came out? It was like almost instantly right after that movie came out.
Exactly.
They changed his face. I'm not even gonna say it actually looks like Tom Holland, because it really doesn't. But it definitely, at first, it definitely kind of favored that kind of look.
Yeah.
And there was a huge uproar about it. I'll even admit, I was a little, at first, I was a little irritated, because I was like, well, first off, what's the point? And two, I guess, I don't know. It's almost because, like what you were just talking about with the whole Aunt May thing, with that connection, you have now two different scenes that are in that game, essentially. Now, if you're playing it now on the PS5 version, right?
It's different. I mean, when they did the face change, I mean, it was probably like 2 years after the game has been out, when they
forget it. Like I said, I could be wrong on exactly when it happened, but I'm pretty sure it was when one of Tom's movies for Spider-Man came out.
No, so they did it for the remaster. So that's when it came out. Yeah, that's when
maybe then it just coincidentally came out at the same time as like one of the Spider-Man movies. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, but you made a good point as far as like just you're referencing the Aunt May scene. How different that felt. I mean, you play the entire game, you get used to the face, the look as far as that Peter. And I believe, and you can, I mean, I think they confirmed it too, that look was kind of based on Garfield. Like it kind of
new look.
No, the old look.
The old look
kind of was like a scheme as far as similar to how Andrew Garfield, the one who plays the Amazing Spider-Man before Tom, that look was based on him. And then when they brought Holland over, they were like, all right, we kind of have to favor him a little bit, and that's why they changed it.
Why they changed it.
And you know, I was like, dang, why'd you guys do that? I mean, I played this entire game with that.
You with that face.
Yeah, and then now it's a new face, and like you said, there was an uproar about it.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't happy. I mean, I guess
I wasn't.
I would say I definitely wasn't at first.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. I thought it was kind of pointless. Like,
yeah.
And then almost like kind of the response, because obviously, you know, they got to defend themselves for making the change. So everybody kind of like, you know, made a kind of fuss of, you know, why are you guys reacting? Why is it such a big deal? It's just a little bit of a change. But like,
what did Insomniac say?
I don't remember exactly what Insomniac. I don't think Insomniac came out and said like, it was just like the community in general. Like there was like, you know, obviously there were people pissed that they changed the face, but then there were also people that were like almost acting like we were being ridiculous about reacting that way, which I almost can kind of understand. Like I see their point of view with that. Like it's a subtle change, and I understand.
Subtle.
Yeah, it's subtle as subtle can be, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? But I guess the one thing I'll say with that, because I'll be honest with you, I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm still going to play the game. I'm still going to love the game. And I saw some of the screenshots in the new game with his mask off, and he looks pretty fucking dope. So he looks pretty tough. So
he does look dope.
So I'm not gonna hold it against them too much, I guess, for doing that. I guess at first I'll agree. I was definitely like everybody, like, you know, I guess maybe majority, or I don't even know if it was majority or minority, but
no, there's a lot of people.
There were a lot of people that did not like the change. I was definitely one of them. But I guess as time went on, I kind of just, you know, forgot about it and don't really care anymore, because like I said, I'm still gonna play the game. So
no, yeah, I'm still gonna play it too. I think I'm curious I wish they would have said something like, hey, like we did this for this reason, like, and then said like, we love you guys. Like,
yeah, I don't know if they ever did.
But like thinking as far as like, you know, seeing the new look, like I got more adjusted to it playing Miles's game. And I mean, realistically it makes sense. I mean, the old face that they use he does look a lot older, where this one looks like he does look like he could be in his like 24, 25. I mean,
yeah.
So
I agree there.
It makes, you know, that's what's helped me rationalize. I'm like, okay, I've gotten used to it. But I've never really played the remastered version. I always, you know, I played the original one for the PS4, and then I played the Miles Morales one that came out for PS5. So I still have an attachment to the old face. It honestly looks like he's taller too, compared to the.
He might be. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
But I mean, hey, it is what it is. So.
With along the one line, I guess the last thing with the first game, I guess we can touch on Harry and Norman Osborn a little bit. Yeah. Well, because we kind of don't really see much of Harry, because he's sick.
Yeah, super secretive.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're like doing like little side missions for him and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess the one thing that we should touch on is just the fact that we do see the cut scene with the symbiote.
Post credit scene.
Yeah, the post credit scene.
Yeah, it's just setting it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of hint at, you know, as far as what's going on. Norman's behind the scenes working, you know, trying to save his son. And there is that mission like where you kind of explore as far as Oscorp, and you're just kind of going through as far as like what the you know, what the labs looks like he's just like, Peter's just kind of exploring that. Mary Jane's in the background, kind of seeing everything that he's seeing. And you're just wondering, it's like a huge mystery, like what is going on, like, because I guess they really didn't realize too much how sick Harry was. So it's just really interesting that it shows Harry Osborn, and he's, you know, in that like incubator or whatever, mm-hmm. And then it shows like the symbiote, you know, and like Norman's like doing everything he can to save his son. So we all know, if you know the background between Norman becomes Green Goblin, Harry becomes Green Goblin. Like they don't necessarily always have this good storyline. They both become villains. So I'm curious
with where it's gonna go.
I mean, them hinting with the symbiote, it's, you know, anything is possible. So yeah, Yeah, that was. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely, with that scene that we saw with the, the symbiote kind of at the end, I definitely, have my, speculations, that at least maybe one of them, could potentially be Venom in this upcoming Spider-Man 2 game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could talk about that here in a little bit once we actually get to the Spider-Man 2 stuff. But I guess let's wrap or kind of, I guess, tie it in now to Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah. My favorite Spider-Man as of late right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles is killing it.
Yeah, no, the movies have been great.
The movies, the game, the comics, like Miles, the style that they really have catapulted Miles into like really a superstar. Just because they bring his own like story and his own look and his own like, way. Just the whole message of anyone can wear the mask.
Right.
I mean, he's a Afro Latino. In New York, so you get so much culture from his side,
Yes,
and then you get to see the mentorship between, Peter and Miles. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah, and just to kind of, I guess, we kind of maybe forgot to mention this, I think. But
how he reveals himself.
Well, just how, the fact that Peter did work kind of alongside, Miles' dad in the first game.
Yeah.
And then, it's just it's kind of cool how it all just kind of ties into, unfortunately, obviously not cool that, his dad, dies, but, just like we've been talking, the whole mentorship thing is just really big.
Yeah. And the one thing I want to point out is just as far as how Miles reveals himself to Peter, like as far as when he gets bit and all that, he had no idea that Peter was Spider-Man. He just looked at him as a big brother and was just like, hey, I need to show you something. Like, you guys know the scene, and Peter's like, oh, sometimes when you're going through some things, he's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just show you. And he jumps up on the wall, and then Peter smiles and does like a freaking, basically jumps on the wall too.
Yeah.
And then he's like pretty weird. And he's like, not that weird. But I really love that scene. That was probably my favorite, honestly, one of my favorite scenes. And that was like a mid credit scene. I was like, wow, they really revealed it. They showed that, and then Miles did that without knowing who he was. He's like, yeah, this is, did. I just wanted to show you. And then Peter was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're going through. So yeah, we can just go ahead and jump in really to the Spider-Man Miles Morales kind of extended game that they gave us.
I mean, I guess, unfortunately, we can, the review will be kind of quick, I guess. But, because really he's only fighting, I guess, really, I mean, there's a few enemies. I mean, we got Prowler, we got Rhino, but the main, I guess, two kind of antagonists would be Simon Krieger and Finn, the Tinkerer, which Finn is, his best friend in the game. So, who, I guess, I don't think you really cared for, Rhino being back in the game, or even really Simon Krieger too much. But I guess out of Finn and Prowler, I guess, who did you think was like maybe the most impactful enemy in the game for Miles?
I mean, yeah, I thought Rhino was pretty cool. Like, it was a nice intro to, Miles trying to figure out his powers and all that stuff, But I mean, Prowler's his uncle. So, I mean, there's that impact. And he's just like, damn, like, my uncle's a villain. Super selfish and all that. But Finn, I mean, Finn was his best friend, and to see her brother and everything that went on with that, and just how she went down this dark path, which makes sense given somewhat sense to Simon Krieger and it all that. So I would definitely say Finn, especially at the end. I mean, the way she went out. I mean, she saved Miles. That whole impact of like her saving Miles at the end. Yeah. And it was like, bro, it was a short game, but it was a really great story. Just showing Insomniac, just showing off how they can tell great stories. So I would definitely say Finn because of how she went out in the end. What about you?
I would say I would say you kind of probably have to go Finn, just because of how close they were, and just kind of like I guess the trials and tribulations they kind of went through together over the entire game. Like he didn't really go through that too much, I guess, with his uncle. You know, but
Not yet.
you know, yeah, not yet, but maybe you know, maybe upcoming. But it's you know, with Finn, I just think like. Yeah, like you already kind of said, it was his best friend, and the fact that he, you know, has to kind of deal with that as he's, you know, trying to figure out himself, you know, being Spider-Man, like, you know, I feel like that is just way more impactful on just kind of, I guess, his journey in life and with the, I guess, throughout the games and everything too. So, I'm curious.
Do you think there was some like romantic type of thing going on
with Finn? It's kind of seemed that way a little bit, but
maybe on Miles' side.
Obviously, maybe I don't know, but I definitely kind of felt that way with it. I would definitely say, I guess the one thing that just because we, you know, I mean, you know, obviously there's probably some stuff we could go into regarding the game in terms of certain missions or whatever, but I just feel like you were already saying before, it was originally kind of advertised as an expansion, but then it did get turned into its own game.
Yep.
I do believe Miles deserves his own full game.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, you know, kind of like in the terms of how it was in Spider-Man 1 for Peter, where he has like, you know, his own kind of sinister, you know, version of, you know, the Sinister Six or whatever, and you know, then the side, you know, villains as well with Fish, Shocker, Tombstone, and all that. So and Hammerhead as well. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the game, don't get me wrong. And the one thing too I'll say about the game that, which is crazy, that it's almost like advertised as just the expansion, is the fact that I would say the user interface and just kind of the overall visuals of the game and the suits and a lot of that were to me a lot better. They were a lot better than than Spider-Man 1 with Peter. But I guess the plus side to that though is the fact that when you know when we get Spider-Man 2 this week, is that we're gonna get kind of the best of both worlds, and there's gonna be a stupid amount of suits in this game. So
nah, it's true. I definitely think, like you said, Miles does deserve his own full game. I think he's a strong enough character to kind of carry his own.
That, yeah.
And you know, while I'm excited with Spider-Man 2, I am, you know, hopefully with, you know, they can either call it Spider-Man 3 or just Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like let's go all in with Miles, you know. Peter can be there, you know, talking sometimes, but like let's give Miles a range.
Are you saying you're hoping that, you know, with, you know, they're obviously doing Spider-Man 2, you're gonna be able to play as both of them?
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have, you know, the, you know, Kraven Venom combo, and then obviously, you know, there's definitely we've seen that there's gonna be a lot more villains as well. But you're kind of, I guess, hoping that after this game that they can maybe then go into like just a Miles. Yeah, I think that would be pretty
Absolutely.
cool. And I don't see why they couldn't, you know. I guess it kind of depends on how the story goes in this next game.
That's true.
It depends. I guess the unfortunate part with that would just be, depending on how they do end it, maybe they can't go into a Miles only game, or like, you know, there might, you know, something like that. But I'm hoping that they don't do that. So it's, you know, we actually can try to see, you know, Miles Morales in action against, you know, multiple villains, instead of just, not that he wasn't, I guess, in his game, but it just felt, if there was one, I guess, like review for the Miles Morales game, obviously I know it wasn't like the super complete game or
it was too short.
But it just felt incomplete. It felt incomplete, like a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it was just too short. It felt like a DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just too short, and I think that says a lot about the character Miles. Like, if people are wanting more, and you know, as far as like just kind of jumping into, you know, Spider-Man 2, it's kind of like, even as far as the trailers that we've seen, like, you know, Peter's kind of like trying to, you can see maybe he's getting, as far as when I'm watching the trailer, you can see he's kind of getting burnt out as being Spider-Man, and he's not as focused. Where Miles is kind of taking it more seriously, like, hey, this is what I want to do, and Peter's like trying to juggle all this stuff. Just based on the trailers, like they even say like what's going on with Peter, and we know he, you know, gets the black suit.
Yeah.
They've been hinting at all that. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess you want to dive into Spider-Man 2 now. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the big things that we've obviously been, there's been in the previews and the trailers and everything like that. We know for sure that Venom's going to be in it. That's like the biggest, I guess,
it's the first thing they really kind of
wanted, like, and then Craven too, as well. They kind of, it was kind of like a double whammy. They kind of like brought the, we saw the, trailer start out and it's like that picture of, that view of Craven, which, I mean, I'm pumped for both of them. I'm pumped for
Craven
both him, for Craven and Venom. I'm pumped to just kind of, finally figure out who Venom's going to be.
Yeah, they haven't revealed it.
I guess, and like I said earlier too, we're probably going to see a lot more, or there's going to be a lot of villains in this game. It's not just going to be Kraven and Venom,
but they're the main ones. Yeah,
they're obviously the main ones. We did see though that Lizard's going to be in the game, which is dope.
Lizard. Yeah,
we did see that. Yeah. And the other thing that I would say is cool is just that we're probably going to get some returning villains from the previous two games. Like for example, you see that in the one, I think, trailer, you see Mr. Negative walking out of jail or whatever. So it's like
full beard,
long hair and everything.
Looking regretful. And in the trailer, they show Miles is like, because I mean, he's responsible for his dad's death, and he's like, "Do you know what you did?" And you can see like they're probably gonna have a battle. Like that's gonna be his villain.
You think so? Like one of the main ones probably for Miles in the game. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So and
then maybe if we do see a Miles game, then maybe that's like maybe somebody who maybe could carry over from this game as well. Because since the primary focus is probably gonna be on Kraven and Venom, but
I do think that, kind of like in the original Spider-Man game, the first one, that there's someone, at least to me, Venom and Kraven are the most obvious as far as the villains, but there's someone else that's probably going to be bigger than all of them. That's just my theory.
That's what you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to play in Green Goblin. I mean, he was in the first one. Somehow he may be in the second one. I think they're still hiding the big bad. No one in Insomniac, no one knew about Doc Ock. Like that was,
it was a shock.
It was kind of a shock. So I think that they're still hiding their big reveal.
Big reveal. Okay.
Just as like how they're hiding who Venom is going to be, which, I mean, we have some theories on like.
Yeah. I mean, we do have some theories on Venom. I mean, just from, like we said earlier in the first game, seeing that the symbiote was potentially being used to treat Harry.
Does Harry have cancer?
I just don't know what he has.
Yeah.
I think it's just some like terminal illness of some sort.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we did see that probably would make one person inclined to think that it's going to either be Harry or Norman that would be overtaken by the symbiote.
Yeah.
So, would you agree on that? You think it's either one of them, or do you have anybody else that you think?
I do.
You have somebody else?
I said, I mentioned it off the chat or off the podcast, but I mentioned Kraven, but now I'm thinking about it, I was like, probably not Kraven. That'd be kind of, but I was thinking like it could be Peter, you just never know. Like Peter just keeps going as far as, cause the black suit, the symbiote with like, as you guys know, like it's not good. So, it just keeps getting progressively worse and worse until he eventually becomes Venom. Like Insomniac's trying to play like a trick on us and think that, it's going to be Peter versus, Spider-Man and Miles is Spider-Man versus Venom, but it's actually going to be Miles versus Peter, and he's fully become Venom now.
Okay.
So that's one of my theories. Most likely it's Harry. I feel like that's the obvious choice.
I feel like,
but I think they're trying to throw a loop on us.
I mean, so with the fact that you're able to play, with the fact that we're able to play both,
Hey, yo, not to cut you off, but breaking news, I'm just scrolling through while we're, recording and everything, and it looks like it was confirmed that Sandman is going to be in Spider-Man 2.
Sandman is going to be in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Kraven, Venom, Lizard, Sandman, and then pretty much, I mean, probably not every single villain, maybe from the returning games or the other games, but we've definitely kind of seen some kind of hints at that there's going to be some of the villains that are going to be coming back are going to be ones that we've already kind of encountered in the past before. So.
Yeah, because there's a huge prison break, so I'm assuming,
right? Because we saw obviously we were talking about Mr. Negative. Oh, yeah. Doc Ock too.
It could be. I mean, they're all in prison, so everyone could come back.
Maybe it could be everybody. Maybe it could be everybody.
It could be a free for all. We don't know. So,
so I guess just the the other. I mean. We don't want to talk too much about maybe. I mean, I haven't really seen too many leaks. I've seen some stuff. It's hard to avoid, on Twitter. Like I've seen a couple things. Some people
Twitter's a dangerous place.
Some people trying to share gameplay and stuff like that. But I've done a pretty good job of kind of keeping away from that. So I guess we'll try to do that too. So maybe one thing we can do here before we wrap up the podcast here soon is just kind of maybe talk about the suits, because the suit is an iconic part of Spider-Man, always has been. Yeah. Just kind of the evolution of it from the early days of when he started first got his powers to then just kind of who he meets along the way and what they kind of help him do, and I guess maybe in the game it's a little different than maybe I'm also thinking of movies as well, but just the suit in general is just one of the dopest parts about Spider-Man. So we obviously had our, I guess, fair share of cool suits in both Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. We both agreed that the suits were probably a little bit better in terms of just how they looked, and I guess until the remaster came out, maybe then for Spider-Man 1, because then they added all the suits for Tom. They added the Doctor Strange suit. They added the
the Raimi suits were already in the original one. So.
The Raimi suits are already there, but the suits in Miles Morales were definitely, I would say, a little bit better. We had, the Purple Rain kind of Prowler looking suit was pretty sick. One of my favorite suits, I was gonna say, from the Miles game, maybe an underrated suit. Maybe it's not some people's favorites, but the Bodega cat suit, when you had the cat in the backpack, and you're wearing like a hoodie and stuff. That was probably one of my favorite suits in the game. What about you?
For me,
or just, any it doesn't. I mean,
for me, I mean, people are gonna like. What? But it was just the Into the Spider-Verse suit.
That was your main one?
I liked it because they did some type of feature where it basically played if you've seen the movie, you've seen how the frame rate is animation. Very animation. So they had it where you could, for those
put that on.
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Probably one of the coolest, I think.
Yeah,
kind of unique features that they put into the game. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite parts. I will say, I'll be honest with you. This is maybe kind of funny. I think you're gonna find this hilarious. I had that suit that on, right?
I remember watching you play it.
So I had that feature on and I had the suit on. I definitely was streaming it for a little bit and everything. But then there was one point when I was playing it, and I think I had switched my suit from the Into to a different suit. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot about the feature, and I thought I was lagging, or I thought my computer, or not my computer, but my PlayStation was screwed up or something. So I'm not gonna lie, there was a period of time where I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is wrong with this game?
That's so funny.
And so I kind of gave it a break, and then I went back in. Then I was looking at the suit mods and all this stuff, all the suit features and all that shit the one time, and I was like, oh shit! I'm like,
that's part of it.
That's why. I'm like, that's why it's doing this. And I took it off. And I was like, oh shit! Yep, that was it. That was it.
I remember watching you stream because I mean, you played the Miles game before me, and you were on Twitch, and then I joined your stream, and I was like, this is so cool. I can't believe they added that. I was like, they added that feature to it. I probably even commented. So that's hilarious stuff. You're like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with my PlayStation?
I was tripping, dude. I was like, dude, what is going? I was like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
No, yeah. So the suits are definitely probably one of the coolest parts of the game. Obviously the powers too, and the stuff you can do. But we know that there's obviously going to be a lot of returning suits from the original games that are coming back, and then we also know that there's a lot of kind of new suits. There was they teased some suits with
Spider-Punk,
the DLC. Well, they also made those one suits the Shadow. I think it's Shadow Spider or something. I forget the actual name, but they had the suits from the from both Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. Some of those are going to make a return, maybe all of them, and then I think they then are going to make like a bunch of new suits for the new game. Did they just drop this?
Yeah, they dropped it about 2 hours ago.
No shit.
So we're looking at, for those just looking at the audio or listening to the audio, we're looking at some of the new suits that they just released about 2 hours ago. They put it on PlayStation, on IG.
Yeah, so real quick before we get into this, I want to, because they did release.
That's sick.
Those are fire. We'll talk about this in a second. But they did release, I think it was like 2 days ago or a few days ago, they did release. Oh my god. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this suit is amazing. They did release, I think, the Brooklyn 2099 suit. And
yes.
They released, I think, like it was like, I forget what the other name of the name of the other suit was, but they did release 2 suits, which we'll try to put those up on the screen now if you're watching via video. But the Brooklyn 2099 suit, and then there was another suit that they released a couple days ago. Those look pretty sick. But then let me fucking see these things, baby.
Take a look.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Are they just for Miles?
I think that's just for Miles.
Okay, so we just got. And these just released 2 hours ago. They just released a Miles one. All right, cool. All right, so 2 hours ago, 5 suits to add to your Miles Morales wardrobe. Do they have names with them? I don't think they do.
Yeah, they haven't released the names yet, but
they have.
The suits look great, and the cool things with the suits is they typically sometimes they'll have special features that come with them. So,
dude, that's got to be a nod to
Prowler.
Not Prowler.
We're looking at a purple suit right now.
Fuck, what's his name over there? Spider-Man India.
Oh,
doesn't that not? Couldn't that kind of look like with the ring?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even see that. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for we're looking at his phone right now, so we apologize. That
I'm looking at this. This is giving like Black Panther vibe too.
Almost too. Yeah. I would agree with that as well.
Yeah, we could be either.
Is there one more suit that I still need to see? Oh wait, go back the other way. Yeah, that one. I already saw. Okay. That one's pretty dope.
This is definitely my favorite.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so guys, we're just going through the suits. TD's mesmerized by the suits, of
this
course.
Thing is unreal.
I will point out.
It's almost like some Iron Man shit.
It does look like the Iron Man.
Spider's glowing.
Yeah. And we if you guys, for those who've seen the trailers and all that, there's a glide portion of like when you can glide with the suits now. Which is really
I'm
cool.
pumped about that.
Yeah, I'm really pumped about that. And I liked how they show a distinguish between, we can even touch on, I'll touch on Miles, but like how his powers have developed. It's so, their powers are so different. Like, Miles's bioelectricity that he uses, he can like teleport now with electricity, and he can like full on do like shock waves and all that. It's dope. I mean, I'm excited about just that aspect of really playing with Miles. And then of course the black suit, like they've definitely put the touches as far as how different
the black suit looks pretty sick. Man.
And how the gameplay is going to be so different, like utilizing that. So they did a good job with that.
I'm interested with the whole obviously we mentioned earlier, playing as both, like they've from what we've seen and kind of what we've heard, it seems like it's going to be pretty seamless. So it doesn't seem like it's going to deter from like the gameplay experience too much. It's not going to be like GTA where you like had to like wait like on it like does that like back out then goes over to a different it's not gonna take that long. It almost seems it's gonna be pretty instant. You're gonna be able to switch between 2 characters,
and you'll be able to see one of them like so you'll be playing as Miles, you'll be seeing Peter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, web slinging along the city too.
Yeah, you'll be able to kind of see him kind of in action while you're
which is playing, dope. I can't wait to see that.
Whichever one. No, that is awesome. I'm pumped. I guess before we go, I mean, you might have said it, but what was your out of the first 2 games? What was your favorite suit?
Yeah,
I just need one. What was your favorite?
Into the Spider-Verse.
That was your favorite.
That
one?
was my favorite one. That's why I was like, I just kept it simple. Like, what about you?
So I would say, fuck, I don't know if I'm gonna need to like look at the game, but it was definitely a suit from Miles. I would say it's like maybe a close tie. It's probably the Bodega Cat suit, and then the Purple Rain suit was fire.
Yeah, the Purple Rain suit was
fire. Purple Rain suit is fire. In terms of just like how they look, those are probably two of my favorite. If you're talking classics, though, I guess if you want to talk, maybe we could separate it. If you want to, I guess favorite game suit from the game specifically, not movie inspired.
Oh, okay.
Like not movie inspired.
Yeah, I would say I like the I guess maybe the final suit that you get at the end is kind of more armored. That Peter unlocks at the end. I thought that was dope. To take down Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool and really unique because he was getting his ass whooped and he had to, build something. And that's just really cool and shows how innovative Peter is as far as, how much of a genius he is building suits, and because, he comes up with his suits. So I thought that was really cool. And yeah, that was probably.
I guess from what you've maybe have or not seen, maybe from what I've sent you or whatever from that we have seen that is coming to the new game, what suit are you excited for?
Spider-Punk.
Is for the Spider-Punk one?
Yeah, and and then of course Spider 2099. I mean that's obvious, but there's so many suits. But the Spider-Punk and then of course the Spider 29 or the 99 are the ones that stand out to me.
I would say the Brooklyn 99 one stands out to me too. the Brooklyn 99, the one that got released a couple days ago, I thought that looked pretty sick.
Yeah,
like I thought that was a pretty cool suit. But I would also say I got maybe the one that I'm excited just to see in the game will be which one was it? I do kind of want to see Miles's the Across, because I think I'm pretty sure Across the Spider-Verse suit's going to be in the game.
Spider Prowler suit, maybe.
Dude,
maybe
that would be
sick.
Yeah, that would be fire if we got that too.
Yeah, I feel like it has to happen.
It has to. I hope so. But yeah, no, I would say definitely that one. I'm trying to think if there's maybe any other suits that I want to maybe give like an honorable mention to, because I did see. Maybe this is wrong. I don't know if maybe this was just like maybe this is what somebody thought. Maybe this wasn't like a true leak or a true like confirmed fact or anything for it. But I did see that we're obviously going to have the black suit that we've seen in all the trailers that Peter's wearing, like that's the symbiote suit, right? Well, I've also heard, I also saw or read somewhere that they're also going to be coming out with another version of just like the classic looking black suit. Like they're also gonna have that as well. So not because like obviously the suits in the game, like the main suit that you get to start for Peter in the first game, like the advanced suit, like it's different from any other Spider-Man suit that we've ever seen or anything like that. So like I'm pumped, man. I think like the suits is one thing that it gets me excited about any game. Customization, I guess, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's like that part about it, just being able to express yourself in that kind of, I guess, light or through that way is pretty dope in my opinion. So
no, I agree. I think it's a cool aspect to add, and then each suit, some suits have specific like abilities, which I can't wait to test out. So yeah, I'm excited for the game. Again, it drops this Friday. We're both gonna be playing it. I can't wait to dig in. I've been waiting for this game for a minute, and it's definitely going to be a game of the year. Well, a game of the year candidate. Let me chill. But yeah, game of the year candidate. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I do think that Spider-Man 2 is going to end up being game of the year. I do.
Tears of the Kingdom, baby.
Well, I guess maybe it's going to compete with that, but I think that I don't know. I think the hype around Spider-Man 2 and just like what's coming with this game is crazy. I guess maybe just
there's been some good games that have dropped this year.
The fandom though too. I didn't even think about the fandom.
Zelda, yeah,
the Zelda fandom is crazy. Yeah. So
and the game's really good.
That might be hard, but I guess if you're talking about my game of the year, it's definitely gonna have to be this. That's what I'm definitely going with that. So
I feel that. It's been some good games, bro. This is probably a really good year as far as games that have dropped on like the PlayStation and Nintendo and just maybe PC in general. Like there's been a lot of really great games.
We have gotten a lot of good games this year.
Yeah, so
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else you I guess want to say before we wrap it up here? Anything else I guess on the game that you're looking forward to or that you're hoping happens with with the story?
Nah, we're gonna find out. I'm excited, and can't wait to play it.
No, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. That's gonna do it here for our Spider-Man episode. Yeah, man. That's our Spider-Man video game episode. We're definitely gonna be coming back with some more Spider-Man episodes here soon. We're obviously gonna do a review or just kind of like our first thoughts of the game when it comes out. But we also obviously want to tap into the movies that have recently come out as well with Into and Across, and then also just kind of talk about the future of live action Spider-Man as well. Yeah, that's definitely on the cards.
Lots of Spider-Man content you guys can look forward to. That.
Definitely count on it.
Yeah, he's one of the best. It's TD's favorite superhero. So yeah, we're gonna dive into that for sure. But we appreciate you guys for listening.
Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
What up, suckers? How we doing? It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
So TD's wearing a Spider-Man mask they surprised me with a beanie on. It's pretty cool. Pretty dope. I got a Miles Morales one. I'm actually still eating, but
I was hoping you could get here before the podcast. Sorry.
that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. But you guys get the visual look.
I look pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
And if you're on YouTube, you can see it.
What up?
What up? Yeah, but thanks for tuning in, guys. A little bonus little feature. Peace.